Did you know that it is estimated that there are approximately 40 billion planets in the Milky Way galaxy that could potentially support life? This means that for every 5 stars, there is a planet orbiting it, similar to Earth. The closest of these planets is about 12 light years away from Earth. When talking about the universe and space, 12 light years is nothing, and it is closer than you might think. Our universe is filled with various planets, and some of them will leave you amazed. We are familiar with many characteristics of these planets, as they resemble ones we have seen in our solar system. However, some planets are so strange and incomprehensible. Let's take the planet Happy-o-Neb, for example. This exoplanet has inflated due to its internal heat. It is half the size of Jupiter or Saturn, but its density is less than a piece of cottonwood. In other words, if you had a very large pool of water, the planet Happy-o-Neb would float on it. Or let's consider the planet Joan 1407. This planet has so many rings that its outer radius reaches 90 million kilometers from the center of the planet, which is 640 times larger than Saturn. There is another planet called JUPSC-b, which takes 80,000 years to complete one orbit around its star. So far, the planets I've introduced have been strange and peculiar. But what about terrifying planets? Planets that instill fear in us when we look up at the night sky and think about them. These are dangerous and bizarre planets that we will never dare to approach because approaching them would mean certain death. Imagine if I told you that there are dead planets in the universe that are in fact still alive. The PSR 1257 planets are 3 exoplanets named Draugr, Poltergeist, and Phobetter, which all signify spirits or terrifying. These 3 planets exist in the most terrifying corner of the cosmos, and the main reason for their frightfulness is their star. The star Lich, meaning corpse, is a pulsar. This undead star continuously emits electromagnetic radiation from its core, and this radiation always collides with these 3 dead planets. This means that if you were to step on one of these planets, it would be like being placed alive in a microwave. Within a few seconds, the blood in a human's body would boil, fat would turn to liquid, and after a few seconds of excruciating pain, the person would be killed. And if you thought these 3 planets were bad, there is another planet that is even more excruciating, resembling the ancient Chinese torture method known as Lingqi. Lingqi was a form of torture and execution in China that was used from 900 to 1905 AD. In this method, different parts of the victim's body were cut off with a hatchet and knife over a period of time. The exoplanet HD 189733, a planet outside of our solar system, is trapped in terrifying winds that are extremely difficult to comprehend. These winds blow at a speed of 700 kilometers per hour, which is 7 times faster than the speed of sound, as the planet orbits around its star. However, these winds alone would not cause the death of a human being. On this planet, it rains heavily, and since its clouds are mainly composed of silicates, the rain that falls is molten glass. So, if someone were to get caught in the winds of this planet, they would collide with molten glass fragments at a speed of 700 kilometers per hour, tearing their body apart. Another equally terrifying planet is the exoplanet Ogletree 56b, where it rains molten iron fragments. The hypothesis suggests that the clouds on this planet, which is the farthest planet in the Sagittarius constellation, are not made of water but rather composed of iron atoms. Being killed by molten iron fragments would be truly horrifying. But it gets even worse. There is a planet that resembles Hell itself. Kepler-17, a planet that has survived after its star's death, has become a star in its own right. Its surface temperature is approximately 70 degrees Celsius, which means it is burning like a furnace. The surface temperature of this planet is higher than the surface temperature of our Sun, which is 505 degrees Celsius. In other words, you would turn to ashes within milliseconds. However, not all terrifying planets are hundreds of light years away from Earth. For instance, Jupiter, a planet close to our own, can eliminate us in various ways. Jupiter is made up of hydrogen and helium gases, and we cannot land on it. But let's assume we can land on it. The first certain cause of death would be the lack of oxygen and suffocation. But the real problem starts when you go about 400 kilometers inside this gas giant. Jupiter rotates faster than the other planets in the solar system, completing one day in just 9.5 hours. And this planet is home to storms that are twice the size of Earth. These storms have wind speeds of up to 450 kilometers per hour and have been raging for 350 years. Isn't that terrifying? Now, let's say we managed to survive these storms, but within a few seconds, you would turn to ashes because the temperature in that part of the planet is approximately 371 degrees Celsius. But closer to Earth, there is another planet that is more dangerous than Jupiter. Planet X is covered with sandy hills, mountains, and volcanic rivers. However, we are not concerned about those. We should fear its dense, toxic, and hot atmosphere because it can eliminate you in 3 different ways simultaneously. Firstly, it is so hot that you would burn alive. Secondly, its acidic rains would corrode your skin. And thirdly, the high atmospheric pressure would crush your bones. Scientists believe that until a billion years ago, there was life on this planet, but since then, it has been destroyed by the greenhouse effect. However, no one knows the secrets hidden beneath the surface of this planet. Now, there is another planet in our solar system that has never been seen by any human. Planet X is said to exist in our solar system, but we cannot see it. Some astronomers believe that Planet X, which is further away than Neptune, is a very large planet that revolves around the Sun in a distant orbit. Although no one has seen this planet with their own eyes, computer simulations and mathematical models indicate its existence. Currently, the belief is that Planet X is hiding beyond the Kuiper Belt from our sight, but the rarest, most dangerous, and deadliest planet in the universe is somewhere you might not have thought of. What if I told you that there is a planet where its atmosphere becomes more and more filled with toxic gases every day? A place where we know more about its solar system than the secrets of its oceans. A place where its living species greedily consume each other and butcher themselves in groups. A planet where you can be murdered, stabbed, enslaved, tortured, starved, burned alive, eaten alive, frozen, afflicted with various diseases and illnesses, or be eliminated in countless horrifying and demonic ways. Yes, that planet is the one you are currently living on. So, the next time you look at the night sky and feel fear, remember that even the Earth you stand on is not entirely safe.